Hi guys, welcome back. It's Miss Lester again with more book talks from Sora. Again, if you are a student in Cypress ISD, you can download the Sora app on your phone or your tablet and access all these books by logging in with your regular computer login. If you don't have a phone or a tablet, but you do have a laptop or a Chromebook, just go to soraapp.com and enter your computer login there, and you have access to all these great books to read and or listen to at home. I'm continuing with the Lone Star books today. Lone Star is a reading list of recommended books for students in grades 6 through 8 in the state of Texas. The new list comes out in December of every year, so this list has been out since December of 2019. The first book we're going to talk about today is Game Changer by Tommy Greenwald. Now, those of you who know me know sports are not really my thing. I don't even really care to typically watch sports movies or read sports books, but this book is different. I really enjoyed the format and I really enjoyed the story. So the format of the book is it's not written as straightforward prose, but it's also not a verse novel either. It's kind of different snatches of things added together. So there are emails, there are overheard conversations, there are text messages, all this kind of stuff. And the premise of the book is it's about a kid named Teddy Youngblood who is in a coma in the hospital after a freshman preseason football camp. And something happened at camp where he got injured. No one is sure exactly what that was. And he's in a coma now, and they're not sure if he's going to wake up or what's going to happen. And the story kind of unfolds as he's in the coma. So he's sort of the main character of the story, but also not really because he's in a coma the whole time. But the overheard conversations are conversations that people are having around his hospital bed. But you get email exchanges, social media posts, and all of these things kind of fit together to reveal what put him in the coma, how he got there, and what's really going on. Now, I know this is Texas, and those of you who are worried that the book is going to tell you that you can't play football, you're safe. Don't worry. I will give you that right now, so don't be afraid of that. But if you do like sports, this is a good kind of a mystery with an alternative format wrapped around the whole sports world. Next, we have Sal and Gabi Break the Universe by Carlos Hernandez. This is another book from the Rick Riordan Presents imprint. If you don't know about that, Rick Riordan, of course, is the author of the Percy Jackson books, among other things. And he now kind of has his own publishing imprint under Disney. And most of the books under this imprint have elements of mythologies from different cultures around the world. And these authors from those cultures are kind of taking that mythology and telling it in their own way. So there's a lot of fantasy, but also some science fiction. I have read most of them and they were all really good. I've enjoyed them a lot. Sal and Gabi is a little bit different because it's not a mythology. It's science fiction and it's based around the multiverse idea. So Sal kind of has a unique gift. He can reach into another reality and pull something out and bring it back into our reality, which sometimes is kind of a cool party trick, but sometimes not, because when he is very upset, he often does this on accident. His mother died, and when he's really upset, he sometimes accidentally pulls versions of his mother from other realities into his reality. Now, they don't stay permanently. They eventually will go back, kind of disappear and go back to that reality. But it's really interesting. I mean, he enjoys seeing his mom again, but it's hard because she is not living in his reality, and he has a stepmother who he actually really likes, and so it's really hard for her, it's hard for the dad, and these different versions of his mother from different realities kind of have different aspects of her personality that are more prevalent. So that's a really interesting part of the story. But what they discover, his dad is a scientist, but what he discovers is that when he is pulling things into our reality, there are also these kind of like chaos particles that are coming in as well, and they could be causing a huge problem. So Sal now has to ask himself, like, do I need to really try to control this power? Am I causing harm to my own reality by this? But then he also has a friend named Gabi who has a very serious situation with her family that could possibly be helped by using his power. So is it worth the risk to help a friend when you're in this kind of situation? If you like a good science fiction story, you will definitely enjoy this one. If you like the multiverse theory, those of you Marvel fans, I think you'll, and DC as well, they all like to do the multiverse, right? So I think you'll definitely enjoy that aspect of the story here. If you like the Percy Jackson books, you like that Rick Riordan kind of style, I think you'll enjoy this as well. The next book on our list is Secret Soldiers by Keely Hutton, and this was a great surprise because most books about war for middle school and high school tend to be about World War II. This one is actually set during World War I. It's about a kid named Thomas who's 13, and he's also very small for his age. His family makes a living working in the mines, and he has already started some work in the mines. He's spent some time down there. And when World War I broke out and Great Britain became involved, Thomas's older brother joined the army. Well, Thomas is really worried about his brother, and eventually he just gets to the point where he can't stand it anymore, and he decides he's going to try to enlist himself so that he can find his brother, which is kind of a lost cause, but he is desperate to find his brother. So he has gone around to different enlistment stations and been turned away at every one. He looks young. He's only 13 and he looks younger than he is because he's small, but he sees this kid kind of watching him, and this kid kind of enlists him in a secret program that is sanctioned by the government, but no one really knows that it's happening, where they have men who have mining experience and also a lot of the boys who wanted to join up, who are now tunneling under the front lines to try to break the German front. So their goal is to dig these tunnels from the Allied side all the way under to the German side, and then they can set up some bombs and break the stalemate, because they have kind of been in this point where everyone's just shooting at each other and people are dying, but no one's making any real progress. This is very dangerous. They could die of carbon monoxide poisoning while they're doing this, so they do take a bird with them, like you hear about people doing in the mines, but also they could run into German soldiers while they're digging these tunnels because they're assuming that the Germans are doing the same thing, and additionally the tunnels could collapse. It is a very tense, a very stressful book. Such a great story. There's a group of boys along with a couple of men who have experience in mining and digging in this story who really become close friends and comrades throughout this bonding experience. It is a really fast-paced book. You're really gonna... It's just a page turner because you have to find out what's going to happen. You have to find out if they're going to be successful. And like I said, this was based on a real secret program that happened during World War I to dig these tunnels to destroy the German front lines. Great book. If you like books about war, for sure, you're definitely going to enjoy this one. All right, the last book for today is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. This is another fairy tale adaptation. This one is a little bit more mature. I would say probably a mature 7th grader and up. Definitely high school kids will enjoy this book, but 7th and 8th grade in high school for sure, and adults if you like fairy tales. This is about a girl named Harper who has cerebral palsy. This results in her having a lip, and she has some stiffness, some difficulty moving around, but she's not going to, she doesn't really consider herself disabled, and she wants to live her life full force. Her dad left the family a long time ago, and it's just her and her brother and her mom. Her mom has cancer and is really sick and dying. Her dad had a lot of debt when he left, leaving her brother feeling like he has to kind of keep working for this guy who the dad owes money to, and he's asking him to do things that are not really legal. But because of Harper's CP, she really can't help the brother out. So what she does is she becomes the lookout. She kind of stands out on the curb and alerts him if he needs to really get going. One day while she's doing this, she sees a guy with a girl who looks drunk escorting her down the street, and Harper thinks that she knows what's going on. She's like, I know what your plan is, and I'm not gonna let that happen. And so even though she has CP, she has the limp, she leaps into action to save this drunken girl. But what happens is she is magically transported back to another world. The guy was trying to kidnap the girl. He actually ends up accidentally kidnapping Harper instead. And when she looks around, she's in this magical world with a prince who is trapped by a curse. Ren has been living suspended in time for hundreds of years. He is kind of doomed to relive the same portion of his life over and over and over again until he can break the curse. This might start sounding familiar to you. Remember I told you it was a fairy tale. So he has to get a girl to fall in love with him during this time in order to break the curse. It's a little bit different from your traditional Beauty and the Beast because he is not a beast during this kind of wooing time. Every time he fails, though, he becomes this horrible monster who really doesn't have, like, he doesn't have control over himself anymore. He doesn't know what he's doing. He becomes another creature entirely and has killed lots of people as he does this. So the result of this is, like, his castle is kind of in this time bubble, but the kingdom is moving forward in time. So the economy is bad, people have died, people have left, there are invaders trying to come in. It's just a really bad situation. And the witch who cursed him has told him, this is your last chance. If you don't get this girl to fall in love with you, it's over. You become the beast forever. And you're just a monster with no mind of your own. Harper is not the girl he would have chosen for himself. She's a little more spirited, maybe, than he would normally choose, but he's willing to make a go of it as they try to break the curse. What's interesting, I mean, this does have the whole kidnapping Beauty of the Beast thing in there, so you kind of have to roll with that because it is a fairy tale. But what's great about it is Harper is very upfront, like, you have been kidnapping girls for all this time? What the heck, man? And so she really calls him on all the things that he's been doing because he's been going through this cycle over and over and over again. He kind of has become immune to some of the things that he's been doing, like not really thinking about how bad they are. And she calls him on all of that stuff and actually becomes more of a partner. Ren this whole time has kind of just been looking like, okay, I gotta get this girl to fall in love with me, and that's his whole point of view. But Harper really challenges him more as an equal and challenges him to look outside of his own situation, and he thinks, oh, I can't do anything to help my people because of this curse, and she's basically like, no, you can do lots of things, so get over yourself and do it. This is a romance, it is a fairy tale. I really enjoyed this one. It's very atmospheric. It has a nice dark tone. The characters are really intriguing. This one, like I said, though, is more on the mature end of the list. So I would say mature 7th grader or 8th grader and then high school on up. Great book. If you like fairy tales, you like fairy tale retellings, you will definitely enjoy this book. Okay, that's it for today. Again, I want to remind everyone to download that Sora app on your phone or on your tablet. If you don't have a phone or a tablet, go to soraapp.com on your computer or on your Chromebook so that you can log in with your username and password to access these books. If you're not a Cypher secondary student, you can still read these books anyway. Check with your public library, check with your school library's digital holdings, or your favorite bookseller, and let's use this time to read some great books. I hope everyone's having a great day in quarantine. We're all gonna get through this together. Bye, guys.